Bueno, dale play a tu bocina, ya estamos aquí en vivo en la Bacaneria Show. Está quien te habla, Andrea, DJ Shaz en vivo, sí señores. Oye, escuchen esto. Oye, ¿qué pasó aquí en los estudios? ¿Será que los chicos se están portando mal? Yo no entiendo qué es lo que pasa, que siempre nos llega aquí la policía. Definitivamente, muchachos, you guys have to behave. Please, you know? They're not behaving. No, mentiras. El día de hoy yo les dije que teníamos una entrevista especial y tenemos de nuevo aquí en la casa, tenemos al comisionado de Suffolk County, Rodney Harrison. Did I say it right?
You said it right.
Ah, eso, Y también tenemos a la bella Jasmine, que ella ya es famosa, ya la he visto por ahí en las redes sociales, por todos lados, ayudando, que by the way, ellos estuvieron aquí hace unos meses que estábamos haciendo la recolecta para Puerto Rico y queremos darle las gracias a toda la gente que puso un granito de arena, que ayudó. Thank you so much, guys, also because that was an amazing event, the Puerto Rico event. Thank you so much. I know it was amazing.
I just want to thank everybody that took the time out to participate in it, and the donations were unbelievable, and we were able to really help out some families out in Puerto Rico. So it was a very nice event, but I really got to thank the residents of Suffolk County for stepping up during a very difficult time that they were going through in Puerto Rico at that time.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Gracias, Jasmine, porque la vi en Puerto Rico, allá, sudando la gota y ayudando a mucha gente, ¿verdad que sí?
De verdad que sí. La gente de Puerto Rico estaba muy agradecida por todo lo que pudimos hacer aquí para ellos allá, de verdad que sí.
Thank you, guys. Y nuevamente los tenemos aquí. Once again, you guys are here, but not because we're going to be recollecting anything, but because we have a very important information today, and I know we're gonna touch very sensitive subjects for a lot of people, and this is something serious. I want people to listen, and please, take a minute to think, if you know anybody who's going through this, or if you may be going through this, because it happens every day and it happens to a lot of people. And today we're gonna talk about now I forgot, Dios mío, violencia doméstica. Domestic violence, right?
So it's domestic violence awareness is what we want to come and talk about. We want to allow victims to know exactly what resources are out there for them, and sometimes there's a reluctancy or concern of coming forward if you're a victim of domestic violence, and too often we've seen incidents where a minor domestic violence incident has ended up into a violent one. So it's important that we get ahead of it. It's important that this police department tries to get people to feel comfortable to come forward and letting them know that we have assistance and help for them out there to get them the appropriate social services that they need.
That's very important. But Ronnie, I have a question for people that are listening out there. What is exactly domestic violence? Because when people think domestic violence is just hitting, oh, my husband hit me, and he comes home drunk and he hit me all the time. But I don't think it's exactly just hitting people.
Yeah, no, it's not always about hitting. It's a host of different things. It could be a mental part of violence as well, where people are chastising or challenging or taking advantage of their domestic partner. There's also other things of domestic violence where it doesn't necessarily have to be husband versus wife. It could be children, it could be elderly, it could be adults that can't.
It could be at work too.
It could be care for themselves. It could also be at work. It doesn't. Yeah. So domestic violence is a very broad type of crime that we have to deal with, but it's something that I want to make sure that I emphasize the importance of people feeling comfortable coming forward, letting them know that we do have advocates that are waiting for them in every single precinct. Most of our advocates are bilingual, and they want to be there to help anybody that goes through a struggle, letting them know that we can hold their hand through the process if they happen to be a victim of some type of domestic violence.
That's very true. And something that I think about every day is like people get scared. When you have somebody especially close to you, a member of your family that's hitting you or is treating you bad, you don't want to call the police. You were like, I don't want to call the police. I'm going to ruin his record. He's going to go to jail. It's my husband who's going to, pay my food, my rent now. So how can somebody actually, get that help without feeling scared to call you guys or to call somebody else? I don't know.
Yeah, so if there's an emergency, we're always going to ask people to call 911. But we do have a 24-hour hotline that is received by our advocates. If I could just share the number, it's 631-666-8833. 631-666-8833. 24-hour hotline. It's manned by one of our advocates. Listen, I know the concern is if I make this phone call, does law enforcement have to get involved? And that's not necessarily the case. It's a place where these advocates can get you some type of services, be it a relocation, be able to help you through the process of just getting an order of protection. And there's a host of other services that these advocates can provide for a victim that's going through a difficult time within underneath that roof or within that household, or like you said before, maybe at work or somewhere else.
Very important, así que mi gente ya escuchó, aquí hay un número donde usted puede llamar, donde no necesariamente usted está llamando directo a la policía para ayuda, sino para que le ayuden como a pasar esto. Jasmine, quiero hablar con usted un poquito sobre esto porque siento que, y te decía fuera del aire, que en la comunidad latina lastimosamente vemos mucho la violencia doméstica y nosotras permitimos que eso pase, o el hombre también, porque no es solo la mujer, el hombre y mujer pueden ser golpeados o maltratados y la gente no habla.
Es verdad, nosotros siempre he criado lo que pasa en la casa se queda en la casa.
Exacto.
Y yo entiendo porque yo vine de eso, pero es también importante, a veces tienes que hablar para ayuda. No necesariamente hablar con los amigos o hablar en público está bien, pero hablar con alguien que está, un profesional que le pueda ayudar a usted privadamente y no tiene que ser legalmente, lo van a poner en la cárcel, no, es nada más hablar con alguien, mira, esta es la situación, qué opciones yo tengo. Y quizás no los quiera, quizás cuelgue el teléfono y digo, no llamo más. Ok, pero por lo menos uno sabe lo que hay y pueden ayudar. Otra vez, como digo, mami siempre decía, lo que pasa en la casa se queda en la casa. Sí, pero cuando uno llama a un profesional es privado. No, nadie tiene que saber que usted hizo la llamada.
Yo creo que ese es nuestro mayor temor, que llame a la policía y se lo lleven arrestado, pero no necesariamente pasa eso.
No necesariamente pasa eso. Y no estamos diciendo, mira, si hay una emergencia, si uno está en peligro de su vida, sí, llama a 911 para el momento, para proteger uno, su vida, la vida de su niño. Pero quizás si no es la situación, es así, mira, tú sabes, cuando el bebé me pega, no me pegó hoy, pero yo quiero saber qué opción yo tengo si pasa otra vez. Por eso él le da el número del 631-666-8833. Ellos no son la policía. Ellos sí trabajan con nosotros, pero son separados a nosotros. Ellos le pueden decir las opciones que uno tiene. Y una opción es sí, si quieres hablar con la policía, pero esa no es la única opción que hay.
Muy, muy importante, así que para toda la gente que me está escuchando, latina, no latina, es muy importante que si usted está pasando por alguna situación así, tiene que llamar y pedir ayuda, y para eso tenemos a la gente experta. I was telling her that the Spanish community, we see that a lot, it's very sad, but our culture, it happens a lot with the man hit the woman now hit the man, but we don't say anything. Yeah. We get scared, or even the kids, Yeah,
so, if I could just share some numbers with you. In 2022, we had 27 homicides. Out of those 27, 6 of them were domestic. That's a number of concern.
Yeah.
We also had over 7,500 domestic violent incidents that were crime-related. So, and we see an unfortunate, our communities that see the biggest spike are going to be Central Islip, Brentwood. We see a little bit of it in Bayshore as well, out in Shirley, where our black and brown communities reside out here in Suffolk County. So it's important that we get the resources and talk about getting ahead of some of these domestic violence incidents before it turns into a bigger issue.
That because they start little by little, and then when they kill you,
Well, if the victim is concerned or doesn't feel comfortable to come forward, and that's what we see too often. So that's why I'm just happy that you allowed me to be here today to provide numbers, let people know that we have assistance, we have help for you. Feel comfortable, come forward, and we'll make sure that everything doesn't have to always result in that family member that you're going against being arrested, but we can also get you the services to get you out of that situation. So I'm really, very grateful for you allowing me to be here today.
No, and thank you guys for being here and give us the information, because a lot of people don't know where to call. It's funny, but so many people sometimes or wife or whatever it is, they home and they like, I don't have any help. I don't know with who I can talk. I don't speak English, Yes. If I call the police, they're not going to understand me. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get my family in trouble. travel, so it's a hard situation, and people need to feel comfortable and feel like, you guys are family and they can help you and, whatever it is. Now, I have a question. What happened, let's say that somebody used to help me, but he doesn't live with me anymore, but I'm scared. I can also call too, because,
Yeah, so that's a great question. And we have a unit specifically geared for domestic violence. And one of the things that we've prioritized in 2022, and we're going to look to make sure we capitalize in 2023, is what we call home visits. If there's a situation where there's a major concern for that violence reoccurring over and over again, we have officers that are going to identify those locations, go by, check up on the household, make sure that the person who's being victimized is okay, as well as make sure there's no order protections being violated or any other reoccurring violence against that victim. So we have strategies in place, but the most important thing is people need to know that there's help.
Yes.
And we have it out there, and this is a 24-hour hotline. We have advocates. We want to make sure that people understand this law enforcement department is here to help anybody that's a victim of domestic violence.
Very, very important. Now, one more question. Let's say I know my neighbor is getting abused, right? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure everything is confidential. Let's say the neighbor always, listen to these files and the guy's hitting the lady or whatever. I can call and make the report without getting in trouble, because it happens a lot. The neighbor knows, but they never say anything. And, sometimes you need help, know?
That's a great point, and I'll let Yaz.
But people get scared too. They're like, you know what? I don't want any trouble. This is not my business, so I just don't say anything.
We always believe, see something, say something, right? You can, if there's an immediate danger where you hear there's something actively happening next door, you can call 911 anonymously. You can be an anonymous complainant and just do, hey, I want to call because I hear this is what's happening. You don't necessarily know, but it's anonymous, and when they arrive, they're not going to say, "Oh, your neighbor called." No, we received an anonymous tip.
That's very important.
Yes, you can always call anonymous.
Yeah, es muy importante que la gente sepa eso, porque sometimes you see things, but you don't want to get. People never want to get in trouble, right, especially when it's not your business, so they stay quiet. But sometimes it's very important to talk and to say something.
Andrea, something I also wanted to mention that I see a lot con los Latinos is they have a fear of immigration status.
Yes.
Oh, if I report my spouse or my partner, they're going to deport me.
Mm-hmm.
Suffolk County does not deport anyone. Everyone is equal. If you need us, we will be there. We don't care about immigration status. We don't ask about immigration status. We don't report further to anyone else.
Oye, dime esto en español también. Importante para que la gente escuche y
entienda. Es bien importante que ustedes sepan que cuando uno llama al 911 o necesita una policía, a nosotros no nos importa si eres inmigrante, si eres ciudadano. Eso nunca lo vamos a preguntar y no le importa y no se va a reportar a ninguna agencia federal. Es nada más para ayudarlo en el momento y ayudar al que necesita ayuda. Las leyes son para todo el mundo, legalmente, no legalmente, no importa.
Muy, muy importante. Así que usted tiene que recordar que si usted está viviendo o está pasando por algún momento donde usted cree que está pasando una situación de violencia doméstica, llame, pida ayuda, hable con alguien. Es importante que no se quede callado, because this can go, if you don't say anything later on, you can be dead. I know a lot of cases where people, they just hit you a little bit, they hit you and then a bad push and boom, you're dead,
Y si uno no piensa en uno, piensa si tienes hijos, ¿verdad?
Exacto.
Porque si uno no está, ¿quién va a cuidar a sus hijos? Y lo que los hijos de uno ve es lo que ellos van a crear. So.
Muy cierto, muy cierto. And it's very important with the kids too, that they feel like they protected. A lot of kids, sometimes they get scared too. Oh, they're going to send mommy, daddy to jail. What am I going to do? They don't say anything. Or sometimes the neighbor or a friend or somebody's abusing them and they don't say anything.
Yeah, and that's why we have such a great partnerships with our educational institutions out here in Suffolk County. It's important that if they see something where a child is being abused, they report it to law enforcement, so now we can go and investigate it. So there's so many different agencies that can have a role in stopping this domestic violence. And unfortunately, it plagues so many communities. But everybody needs to be hands-on. Everybody needs to feel comfortable calling 911, and also people need to know about the resources that we are able to provide for anybody that's going through the struggle.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Rodney, Jasmine. Yo quiero darle las gracias. I want to thank you for coming here today, for sharing this information. And maybe we should do this more often. I think it's very important, especially because we have a lot of Latino community listening and they get scared. I don't know know why. I always say, even me, sometimes you're in your car, you're not doing anything. You see police and you start you get scared. Imagine somebody going through domestic violence, they're not going to call, because they don't know. They don't know how it works. They never have any type of, information. But now people know that they can call, that it's okay, that there's other institutions where they can help you and give you advice and, give you information and you can feel safe.
Yeah. So, I can't express my pleasure for being here today, getting the word out. This helps build relationships, gets the message out as well. And I agree with you. I think we need to do a lot more conversations on this radio show talking about some of the concerns that we see and making sure that we give people the resources to help them further themselves.
And I think that's a good step. We can have different topics because, you know what? People need to be more comfortable with the police, right. Like I say, for some reason people get scared, but they need to see you as a friend, nothing happens.
Funny you say that, Andrea. I get a lot, especialmente a los latinos, que los papás dicen, ahí viene la policía.
Y el niño se asusta.
Y yo siempre digo, no, yo no quiero, because si no crían, and I'm a cop, and even I still have that in me sometimes where I freeze up because that's how we were raised. Fear. We want to change that narrative. We want you to be like, no, those are the cops, those are our friends, that's who we can count on, that's who we can get advice from. We want to change that narrative.
And it also starts from collecting donations, making sure we're helping countries out. The little things like that go a far way. So building that trust so people feel a lot more comfortable with their local law enforcement. So we want to continue these partnerships. We want to make sure everybody understands we have to work hand in hand with our community in order to save people at the end of the day. So once again, thank you so much for having us.
Definitely. Now you guys are committed to me because you're going to be coming here and talking about, little stuff just like this so people get more familiar with everything and more comfortable. And when you see it, they're going to see you on the road. Oh, my God, Rodney, you're the guy who we're talking
to. That's right.
That's right. Thank you so much for coming here this morning, for taking the time. I know you guys are very busy. And this information definitely is very important for people. Can you repeat the number again?
Sure.
But we're going to put it in the website, too.
Sure.
We're going to put the video so people can, listen to it and get the number.
Sure. It's going to be 631-666-8833. And the text number is going to be 88788. Text start or 88788.
Así que ya lo sabes, es el número, pero vamos a colocarlo también en nuestras redes sociales. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Rodney. Hablamos español, we talk any language, right?
That's
Chinese,
right.
Japanese, no importa. You call,
That's right.
Llamen y usted va a obtener la ayuda que necesite. Once again, guys, thank you so much. I hope, I see you guys soon again. Maybe we can talk about something else, like I say. And this is very helpful for the community.
Yes.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yes, it is. And thank you so much once again for having me.
Thank you, Jasmine. We see you next time.